What we know is that a 22-year-old man was shot in the arm. Residents are mostly students here at JMU, and they tell me they were surprised to hear what happened. I'm going to take a step out of the way so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this piece of wood came from one of these trees that you see that's spread out in the shard. Tall trees were knocked down last year by that tornado. Safety experts say most crashes happen within 1 mile of where a person lives, and it takes just 2 seconds to buckle up and stay safe. We know that fire started in a living room. We also know that 3 people smoked cigarettes regularly. I'm not sure if you can see that clear or even hear, but there are some students gathered outside. They're playing music. They're sort of rejoicing. They're trying to keep the memories of those who have died alive. Engineers looked at crash patterns, land use, completed a speed analysis, and looked at other factors to determine the proper speed for this area. The last time a waiting list was open, people were told to come here to the Lucy Sims Center to fill out an application. People even lined up the night before. Some so desperate to get their name on the list, they began fighting to make their way to the front of the line. Imagine this, you're sitting at the table having a nice dinner or drinks with friends and family when all of a sudden the ground starts to shake. So my first reaction is to get under the table or even run to the door. But managers here say they want to be prepared for the worst. That's why they've come up with a plan to keep everybody safe. In just a matter of minutes, the East Rockingham girls basketball team will be walking in through these doors behind me. And by the looks of the crowd tonight, you can tell just what kind of welcome home surprise they're going to get. What we know is that a 22-year-old man was shot in the arm. Now, police came here. They say someone called 911 around 8 o'clock this evening to report gunshots near the Sims building in a park on a basketball court. That basketball court is right behind me, if you can see through these trees here. Now, police were looking for any clues that would lead them to an arrest. Now, I want to show you some video that was taken earlier. This video is moments after police got to the scene. Cars were riding through the darkness with their lights on, again, looking for any clues, any bullet fragments that would lead them to exactly what happened here tonight. They also questioned a lot of people who were outside at the time, just asking what they heard, what they saw. What we know is that that 22-year-old man was taken to Rockingham Memorial Hospital. He is considered in minor condition, meaning he's going to be okay. But Mel, still a lot of unanswered questions here tonight. Police will continue this investigation. Residents here say they didn't hear much about what happened, a drug bust, even from management officials at University Fields. Now, this all happened in the apartment building behind me, 1155 Devon Lane. Now, residents are mostly students here at JMU, and they tell me they were surprised to hear what happened behind the apartment of Door B. A drug bust here at this University Fields apartment. Cocaine, marijuana, pills, even a measuring scale taken from closets, duffel bags, even from underneath beds.
No one's heard anything, at least on our floor, so it's kind of interesting.
Dale Nevis lives 2 floors up.
Well, I'm just surprised that you guys were the first ones I heard it from.
The mounting evidence found in this search warrant. According to Harrisonburg police, those drugs allegedly belonged to Christopher Ferguson, a JMU sophomore, and Nicholas Emmons, a recent JMU grad. The search warrant also describes how on 2 occasions an informant allegedly purchased illegal drugs from Emmons. We went to the apartment for some answers, but no one was home.
It kind of makes me disappointed in our generation, but I mean, at the same time, like, you know, we shouldn't have drugs in our apartments. It's not safe. It's not intelligent at all.
Residents say while the drug bust disturbs them, they're just glad police were doing their jobs.
I feel like there's police always monitoring. They're always around here. So.
Something Nicole Fortunato and others say is a reason to feel safe.
It definitely makes you feel safer.
Now, Mel and John, it is important to mention that no arrests have been made. Police want to analyze all of the substances they found inside the apartment first. Now, I had the opportunity to speak with the grandmother of Nicholas Emmons earlier this evening. She had nothing but good things to say about him. She also said that she cannot believe that Nick would do anything like this to jeopardize his future, and she's just waiting for the truth to be told.
We believe we have a good solid cause for the fire.
A fire that killed 3 people, including a 9-year-old boy. Rockingham County's Assistant Fire Marshal Mike Armstrong says some type of discarded smoking material likely started that fire. The home smoke detector was also inactive. We know that fire started in a living room. We also know that 3 people smoked cigarettes regularly. What we don't know is, did someone fall asleep before putting out that cigarette, or if an ashtray fell on the floor? Lieutenant Karen Will says safety begins with education.
Yeah, we're everywhere trying to get the message out.
But is that message being received? Nationally, 80 to 90% of us have smoke alarms in our homes.
Less than half of those actually work because people put them up and they totally forget about them.
We as a society, we never stop. We're continually going, and that creates a situation where we miss things.
The department received a $500 grant to install smoke alarms to anyone who needs it. That grant is thanks to an organization called Safe Kids. The department has been installing free smoke detectors since 1985.
If this will get 24 people to check their batteries, if this gets 100 people to change them when the clocks change, then we have achieved something.
Don Shaw has been delivering hot meals to seniors in need for a long time. 5 days a week, 27 homes. Mary Lee Allman is her first stop of the day in Harrisonburg.
The food they bring is good for you.
But soon thousands of seniors in the valley may stop getting food delivered. Governor Bob McDonnell wants to cut funding to certain area agencies on aging.
If this program is cut, it's going to affect a lot of people.
In fact, it will impact funding for about 13,000 meals delivered by the Valley Program for Aging, which serves 10 jurisdictions. That's equal to about $66,000. The governor is proposing to cut $1 million by fiscal year 2012 and another $1.5 million for fiscal year 2013.
I was outraged.
Glenda Faust is a volunteer with Meals on Wheels.
Homebound people who can't go out to dinner or go out for breakfast depend on Meals on Wheels.
Some argue the governor is targeting the poor, but McDonnell's press secretary, Jeff Caldwell, released this statement, reading in part, their funding, like that for schools and other services, is based upon formulas tied to the population of Virginians served by these organizations, according to the U.S. Census. Recent census numbers showed a smaller growth rate of Virginians in certain areas who are eligible for these types of services. In short, the formula's purpose is to shift a portion of the funding from areas with no or slow elderly population growth and reallocate those funds to areas with higher growth rates. But drivers like Shaw say many don't understand the value of Meals on Wheels.
This is about the only hot meal they ever do get. And other than the hot meal, we're probably the only people they see every day.
About 150 people are served each day in Harrisonburg and Rockingham County. For those like Allman,
They helped out a lot. They really did, because I couldn't get her to cook.
police are still searching for two men who allegedly robbed a Harrisonburg pharmacy. News 3's Elizabeth Lamb spoke with the owner of that pharmacy tonight. And Elizabeth, was the owner shaken up by what happened today, or what did he have to say about all this? Governor Bob McDonnell says President Obama is not doing enough to speed up that process. McDonnell and Maryland's Governor Martin O'Malley debated that and many more issues. VDOT has been working very hard tonight on the roads. Currently, 1 child out of every 100 in America is diagnosed with autism. But as John Donvan explains, the definition may be about to change. The State Board of Elections met the requirement to send absentee ballots to all voters, including overseas and military voters. I would want the Giants to lose because they're in the NFC East, and a lot of people know the Redskins. No, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but they are part of the NFC East. So, you know, we want to know your predictions.
The Redskins still exist.